All right. Hopefully you guys can see me and hear me. Welcome to today's training. I'd love it, guys. I know usually with this, there's a little bit of a delay. So I'd love it if you would just ping me in the chat, tell me where you're from, and that you can hear me loud and clear before we get into the training. So let me know where you're from around the world. We're going to get into this training. It is going to be 40 minutes, hopefully with about 20 minutes of me chatting to you guys, telling you about this experience, and then we can answer some Q&A, get some questions from you guys, and just hopefully help bring value to you guys as you go through your Amazon business. So yes, hey Joseph, we can from Sydney, Don from Brisbane, Melbourne, Shiv from Adelaide. All right, it's a lot of Australians. I know it's morning. Oh, you got Pierre from China. Cool, sweet. Keep them coming, guys. I want to make sure. Obviously, you guys can hear me because you put something in the chat, so that's good. All right, so today's training, we're going to talk about this in a second, but a little bit of housekeeping here. I'm going to be chatting. If you have any issues with anything, please ping me in the chat. Use the chat function. I know there's a question, a Q&A one as well, but use the chat function for any questions or to just chat. And then there's also a little hand where you can speak, which is somewhere on your page, if you can see it. Specifically for this one that we're doing today, this training today, if you'd like to come on live and chat about whatever you want to chat with me, whether it's about suspensions or anything else, you can come on. We'll do that towards the end, but you can just raise your hand. You won't come on immediately, but once I can click on it, you can actually come on. I know a few of the trainings previously, we've had a few people come on, but we might get lucky today and get someone on. All right, let's talk about today's training. It's a little different to our normal training. Hey, I just want to say hello to Hannah, Ms. All right, Kamar, cool. Sabir, nice to see all you guys. Today's training is about suspensions. It's been going around for some time. There's been a whole bunch of shenanigans from Amazon around suspending accounts for various reasons. And the one we're going to talk about specifically today is account-related suspensions. And this is when Amazon has come to you and basically said, hey, you're suspended because your account is related to someone else's account that is ineligible to sell on Amazon. That's kind of what they tell you, and they suspend you, and it's up to you to kind of figure out how to unlock and unsuspend yourself. I'm going to get into it because I've had some personal experience with this. Just recently, I've been working with a colleague and a friend of mine to help unlock their account that got banned for this exact reason. And it's close buddy, and he got banned, so I jumped in and helped, and it was quite the ride. So I'm going to go through my experience. Disclaimer, this is not legal advice, obviously. It's just John telling you as an Amazon seller what I went through and was successful in unlocking the accounts. And I've got a lot of learnings from that I want to share with you guys. We're going to talk through that. I'm going to give you the exact template that I used to unlock the account. And I'm going to give you, this is a big one, I'm going to give you the number that you can call to get hold of account health. Those are the two things at the end of this webinar. I'm going to give you a link so you can get that. The number for account health is key because, as you guys know, mostly if you're trying to talk to Amazon, just going through Seller Central, sometimes you find people that basically don't have the expertise to help you. So I'm going to give you the number that will be super helpful for you guys as we go through this. So you're going to see a lot of my face. Maybe, after a few minutes, we're going to jump over. I'll show you that template. We'll talk that through, and then we'll take some questions and answers. But as you have questions, just jam through them. And I'll try to be short, sweet, so we can get to all the questions. Ms., does that mean that you cannot have multiple accounts at all? That is one of my points that I'm going to bring up. Yes, you can have multiple accounts. But if you have multiple accounts, the big tip here is that you need to ask Amazon's permission. So if you're selling with one account, get hold of Amazon and say, hey, I've got a completely separate brand, business that I'm going to be involved in, selling different products. I want a separate account. Is it okay? Get there, okay, and then go ahead and keep that okay. Keep that with, and then go ahead and open that. So All right. What else we got here? Hannah, that's me. Okay, so she's me, man. Okay, I better stop talking and start teaching so that you guys you guys can unlock your Amazon businesses. So let's get into it. All right, I've got a couple of notes here that I want to run through. Let me just get this figured out on my screen. All right, I covered what we're going to cover today, which is great. All right, let's just talk quickly about the account suspensions and why they've been happening. So I would say probably 3 months ago, there was a massive amount of account-related suspensions that Amazon went through. And from what I can figure out, this is obviously just me from knowing the industry, is that Amazon went and decided, hey, we have some black hatters in there. We've got a lot of people doing shady business on Amazon. We need to clean out these people. This is what we think is the right trigger to trigger that might be these people who have multiple accounts. Let's go ahead and ban all of them, and then let them come back to us and say, hey, we banned, unlock our accounts, and we can get that cleared up. So that's kind of Amazon's MO. That's how they do things. They just take action and ask questions later, and it's kind of up to us to solve. And so they obviously sent out an AI bot, an artificial intelligence bot, looking for these accounts, found them, suspended them all, and that caused major havoc in the space. So that was number one. They just did it recently again, probably 2-3 weeks ago, and that's probably why a lot of you guys are on here, because it's happened to you. For that, you're getting this account suspension, and you don't know why, and you don't even have a second account, so you don't understand. My personal feel on that as well is that, again, they've had an AI bot that's gone through and they've made some mistakes, and unfortunately we have the consequences. But I think what I'm hearing right now is it's a little bit easier now to clean up than it was 2 months ago. So that's the good news. And then the third thing that I've heard of is that you get resellers, right? You're selling your brand on Amazon.com. They're buying your product and they're reselling it on Amazon Mexico or Amazon Canada or Amazon Europe. And so what's happening is, because of those resellers, where they're taking your product and they're reselling it, when that bot went through, it caught those accounts and they just related and banned both of them, and then said, hey, we banned both of you. You guys come back and tell us who's the right one, right? So it's tough, man. This is the kind of thing that Amazon does. They have a lot of power in the marketplace. They have a monopoly. It's got some really good things about it, selling products and making a lot of money on Amazon, but you kind of have to run it by their book, and they can do things like this, and you've got to be able to react quickly to what they're doing. So I'm going to take you through how to react and importantly, how to get this done. So we'll jump into that. So, all right, just checking, all good there. All right, so that's why, okay? Now, how do you fix it? You think it would be simple? You would just go and hit up Amazon and say, hey, guys, you banned me for a related account issue. What's the reason? Hey, they tell you it's related to this account with LAB, and you're like, I don't know those people. This is my account. Here's my information, and you should be unlocked. It's not that simple, unfortunately. And it's a typical case of Amazon does that, but they don't educate you or tell you what you need to do to get unlocked. And you have to figure this out all on your own. It can take some time. I will tell you that when you get suspended, you have, I think it's 30 to 60 days to get that issue fixed. If you don't get it fixed in that time, they will start sending you notices saying they're going to destroy your inventory. And if you don't clear it up in that 60 days, they will literally destroy your inventory, unless you have the option to either pull your inventory out and store it somewhere while you fix this, or they're just going to get rid of your inventory. So it's pretty severe. And I tell you that because you need to get on and get this thing figured out very quickly, because you don't want to have to start pulling your inventory out. That's a cost just to pull it out. Then there's storage, and then there's repacking. It's a mess. And it might even mean you have to destroy it because it's less money. So get it fixed as soon as you can. You have those 60 days. And I know it's unfair. I know it's bad, but you're going to have to play by the rules and get this thing done. I'm going to show you how. So that's number one. They will start to destroy your images. Secondly, Amazon doesn't, you guys know this as much as I know, within their departments, they don't talk to each other. There's not this clear system, right? And there's different levels of power, different levels of access. When you talk to customer support, they can often see just as much as you can see. So you have to kind of, and all of them are trained differently. They have different things of advice, and you're going to get one set of advice from one guy today and something completely different tomorrow. This is the game. And you have to kind of start to piece the puzzle together. Get this piece of advice, maybe you get something else, you try something, then you get similar advice, and you kind of start working your way there. So it's tough, and unfortunately I don't have it right, but there are ways to get through it. Let's see what else. Okay, so how can I tell you about this today? The experience that happened to me, I had a colleague who got suspended for an account-related issue. This was 3 months back, and the reason for the suspension was a related account issue. And what we figured out from that, as we helped it, was his roommate 4 years ago used the same physical address, because they lived together, on his Amazon business that he started, and then they went their own ways, and he moved on. And the addresses were changed and everything, but that address was on file. And that roommate opened a second account that he didn't close properly. And then when the AI went through, it picked up that account, banned that account for not being ineligible to sell. And that created a waterfall effect that banned his second account. It went through and then banned, his friend's account and the other person's account. So that roommate of my colleague, sorry, it's kind of a story, but he got his 2 accounts banned, which then waterfalled and banned his 2 accounts. The problem with that is you don't know why it was banned. This was something we had to figure out by talking to them. You don't have an insight into what was the one that banned the account, and you don't know how to fix it. And the line in the sand, or the general direction, is you need to find the one that was ineligible. You need to get that one fixed. Then the second oldest account needs to be unlocked. Then the next one, then the next one. So it's kind of this waterfall effect. And the advice they give you is, even though my colleague's account was banned for some strange reason and it wasn't related, they told him his friend had to fix those accounts first before they would actually unban his. So it was a waiting game, essentially going, okay, well, he has all the advice for his friend to fix his accounts, close the one that was ineligible, hopefully unlock his, and only once that's done could he unlock his. So he was dependent on the unlocking of accounts that weren't even related to him, and he had to wait. So a really tough situation and a lot of waiting. But at the end of the day, the advice I would give you is different. If you get banned from a related account, the first thing you need to do is you need to get hold of Amazon, and you need to say, hey, I'm on the phone. You need to phone account health. I'm going to give you that number. Phone account health and say, hey, I've been banned for a related account issue. What do you see in your system as the related account that's causing the ban? And they're going to come back to you and say, yes, you are. The 3 letters of the seller account that's related to yours is XYZ, right? Whatever that is. And it's up to you then to go, okay, if it's XYZ, yes, I know what account that is. It's a friend of my brother's or whatever. Or no, I have no idea how that's related. So that's the first step, is to understand try and get to the source of what is the account that's banning yours. And they're not going to give you the whole name. They're going to give you the first 3. Okay. See if that's related. If not, then you have to put that in your suspension letter. Once you understand that, I wouldn't wait. If you do know that person or not, don't wait for them to unlock it. You have to go and start your process of getting it unsuspended by saying, hey, I'm a separate business. I'm not related to this account. This is the reasons why, and go through that process. That process is a little complicated. I'm going to step it through, and then you're going to see it in the template of how you get this. Now, I waited, or with my friend, we waited. We submitted a whole bunch of times, and eventually we got Amazon seller's lawyer involved, and they gave us a template, and that's the template I'm sharing with you guys. It's based on my learnings from that. But essentially, when you submit your case, right, and you go on and you go into Amazon, you know which the account is, you need to address it in a specific way. You need to say, hey, I've been banned. This is the reasons why I've been banned. And this is the reasons why I think we've been banned. And then furthermore, this is why we shouldn't be banned. And these are the things that we're going to be doing to correct it. And listing all of that out in a concise way. And then finally at the bottom saying, hey, here's proof that this is my account. It's a separate business, a physical address. And I think, some kind of photo ID. You need to put all of that in there. And you will get, hopefully you will get unlocked. So the key things on that you need to think about is, all of the reasons why you may have been suspended. And I can tell you, for the account that we unlocked eventually with my colleague, we put all of this in, proof of identity, why we shouldn't be connected, all that. And they wouldn't tell us anything in addition until I dug a lot deeper. And basically what it came down to is that friend, the colleague that I know, had logged into his roommate's account many years before because he was trying to help him set up his Amazon business. And he needed to clarify that on his suspension and say, hey, I did log into my friend's account once or twice because I was really consulting with him to try and help him with his business. And that was the relationship. So he had to kind of substantiate that relationship. So I tell you that because you have to think of the smallest details. Amazon records your IP address, who logged into that account. Are they using the same networks? Where are they in the world? Did they use a different username? How long were they logged in for? How many times? All of the stuff is recorded by Amazon, and they have access to see that. And if you don't clarify why those things happened without them telling you, so you've got to think of these things, you may not get unlocked. So you need to go in and detail out every single reason why you think it may be and legitimize it and say, hey, this is why all of this has happened, and this is what we're doing now to fix that. And we'll get into the solutions pretty soon. So guys, let me know if I'm being clear enough in what I'm saying right now, if it's making sense, if you're getting value from that. We're going to go in and I'm going to walk through the template in a second. I just want to talk a little bit more about the process of unlocking and how I did that. Let's see. I've just got some notes here. I just want to make sure I'm covering this. All right. Okay, so we talked about submitting to the appeal letter. Let's see. Always good to know about suspensions. Great. Okay, good stuff. Okay, so things that you need to do when you submit this. So just to back up again, you call account health. You ask what accounts are suspended, why. You think about how they could be. You then create your letter of appeal detailing why you were suspended, why you think the reasons were, and what you're going to do to prevent that. The main things you need to do in that letter to show that you're preventing it is say, we're going to be, it is a separate business. Here's my proof. Anybody who's logging into the account has to use a separate permissions login. So go into permissions and set different permissions for anybody who's logging in. Use separate computers, separate IP addresses, detail out all of that saying, hey, we are going to show you that anybody who's logging in here has their own logins, they're separate. And so that they can be very clear that anybody who's logging in is a legitimate part of your business. And then obviously attach your photo ID, proof of the business, like a business license, and then proof of physical address. So submit all of those. A good PDF, separate PDFs is really good. Submit that. And then now this is the trick. You submit it to the account health suspension inside of Set Essential. You may not get a notification back saying it was rejected or it was approved. So, you can sit there for 3-4 days, 5 days and think you're waiting for an answer. Meanwhile, they've already rejected it. They just haven't notified you. So my advice on that is once you've submitted it, 1 to 2 days later, get on the phone and phone account health again and say to the person on there nicely, because it's not their fault, but say to them, what do you see in the system? I want to check the status of my account suspension. What do you see in the system? Are you still waiting to approve it, or is it approved or rejected? They will most likely come back to you and say it's rejected. And then you can say, okay, I was rejected. What do you see in the notes in your system as to why it's rejected? I've submitted this. Here's everything. I need to know if there's any further details of what I'm looking for. Usually there might be some internal notes on there as to why they're rejected, and they can communicate that to you and tell you, what are the further reasons that you need to validate, right? So that's step one. Then you'll probably go through 3 or 4 of these attempts of submitting before you'll get through an appeal. So that's, that could be 2 weeks, right? Because you're waiting and you're kind of going back and forth. So you might not get it cleared up straight away. So what you then need to do is take your suspension appeal letter, add the additional detail that you got from the account health person, and resubmit the whole submission, everything that you submitted, plus your photo IDs and everything else attached to that. Resubmit everything because a different person is going to look at it. and then go through the process again. Call back 2 days later. Is it rejected? Why? What do you see? I would say when you speak to that person on account, I'll say, hey, this is my 3rd submission. I've been following all the advice you guys have been giving me. I've always resubmitted everything. And I'm clearly, as someone that needs to be reinstated. What do you see on your end? And what happened in our case is we eventually found someone who was like, hey, I can really see that this is clearly, you need to be selling. You shouldn't be banned. I need to submit this to an internal investigation team. So there's an internal investigation team, right? And that person you speak to in account health can then call that other team and say, hey, I want to submit this. Can this be submitted? She tried the first time and it got rejected, but she got more information back that I could then add that eventually got submitted to the internal team. So I tell you about the internal team because if you get rejected at least 3 times, the next time you speak to account health, put on there, hey, this is the 3rd time I'm submitting. I've been told by account health that this is ready for internal submission. Please, can you internally submit this? And then if you get rejected again, speak to account health and say, hey, we now need to internally submit this, and they will. So that's the process that you go through. I know it's a lot of steps to go through, but that is the process. Submission letter, submit, phone account health, ask them why, update your submission letter, reattach your documents, submit, do it 2-3 times, request an internal review after the 2nd or 3rd time if you haven't been approved yet, and then put that in your submission letter, and hopefully you get through to the internal team and then you get approved. And that will just simply, you'll log in and they won't tell you, and all of a sudden everything's working. And then you have to put your listings together and everything, and it can be a little bit messy. But if you do it quickly, your stock will be there and you'll be back and selling very quickly. So that is the process. Last step before we jump in and I'll show you the pieces. How do you prevent this? Number 1, make sure you have a separate business address for your Amazon business when you set it up. So even if you're out of a home, if you can get a separate business address, do a separate business address from your home, because if you move, there's complications. Have a separate business address. Make sure you get trademarked. If you can get trademarked, if you're a legit business, you have a way better chance of getting unlocked because they can see that. You can submit it as part of your proof. Create permissions for everyone. So anybody who works in your business, your wife, your husband, your sister, whoever it is, someone overseas, go into your permissions, get them logins, give them approval for everything. But every time they log in, they're not using your login, they're using their own one through the permission. So they're separate. Use different computers if you're using the same IP, or Wi-Fi. And if you are going to get a second account, request that of Amazon before you go and open that second account. You don't want to go back and ask for it once you have it. If you want a second business, you can have it. Just ask them, get that in writing, and those are the things I would do to make sure that you don't get suspended for these reasons. And obviously, if you are trademarked and if you do get hijackers on your account, it's easy to get rid of them. You're in a much stronger position. So my learning out of that is Amazon wants legitimate business people and they want bigger brands. So the more you can act like a bigger brand, trademarking, everything else that you can do to be on Amazon, the better chance you have of staying there. They want to get rid of the small fry. They want to get rid of, the hijackers, the black hatters. They're moving into this place of wanting to support bigger, better businesses. So, that, yes, we still can start there and it's a great place, but go through everything. Reliable Education obviously has a lot of great training on that to be a legit business when you go into Amazon. That's that. Let me share my screen. Guys, if it's making sense, give me a thumb up. I've got a couple of questions coming, so we're going to get to that in a second. I see the questions there. I'm going to come back. Don't worry. But let's finish this. I want to show you a few things. All right, screen share. Okay. All right, this is the letter that I submitted. Now, this is a template. You guys can use it. I put a disclaimer at the top because, guys, I'm not a legal service. This is on your responsibility. The liability lies with you, not with us. I'm just providing this as free advice for you guys. So, disclaimer. Yeah, dear Amazon, I'm the principal owner of the store. This is the problem that we've identified relating to the accounts notification. we've investigated this. This is why we were suspended. Include the details of why there was a suspension. I also performed an audit to ensure my information is not used by any other Amazon accounts. Here's my current information. Steps taken to prevent related account issues. Prohibiting outside account login. So pursuant to Amazon's policies, I've taken these actions. We're requesting that all additional non-compliant Amazon accounts be terminated, so we do not continue to violate Amazon policies. So there's a whole bunch of details in here. I don't need to go through everything here, but it's saying, hey, we've educated ourselves on the policies. Maintaining multiple seller accounts is prohibited. Yet say that, and I said it here, but you can have 2 accounts. It's allowed these days. You just need to ask permission. We understand the seller account should not be using the IP address of another seller account. So that all of the things here are detailed. Business name. I'm sure my business name is trademarked, is separate. Public Wi-Fi. I don't use public Wi-Fi. If I have a social security or tax ID, I'll put that in here. I checked. We're a separate business. Here's my physical address. I've got attachments showing that I'm based here. Bank accounts. This is my bank account information. And then conclusion, include in there, hey, explain why to reinstate. Hey, this is why it was there, and this is how we've gotten around that idea. This is it. I use this. You fill this out. You submit it, and you will get cleared. Now, already some people have started using this. I will say that I'm getting notifications every day saying thank you. I used the template. We submitted it. I got unlocked. I think it's a little bit easier right now around related suspensions because I think they've realized they made some mistakes. So if you can just put this in, prove it, you should be able to get up and running pretty quick. But this template seems to be working. People are using it, and they're getting there. This is number 1. Number 2, I wanted to show you, where is it? I think it's here. And this, guys, I'm going to give you a URL. So if you go to this URL, zonguru.com/files-appeal. I'm going to leave it up for a second. I'll put that in the chat as well. zonguru.com/files/appeal. You just enter your email address there. We'll send you that document, this one, and we'll send you the URL to Account Health. Now, this URL, basically, when you put this in, it's going to ask you to log into your Seller Central account. You'll log in, and it will redirect you to the Account Health contact information. You press go, and they'll call you, right? So this is super useful. This is like gold, guys, honestly, because you're going to get hold of Account Health rather than the normal Seller Central line. So put this in. I pulled this out of an email. It's very hard to find, but you can get there. So just put this in, and it will get you there. That is worth all the talking that I've done. Trust me, you want to get that. So if you want to get that, guys, go to, where is it? Right here. So guru.com/files-appeal. Put in your name, email address, and then hit send file, and it will send you that template and that URL so you can use it for unlocking your account, and you can save a bunch of gray hairs that I got from going through. That whole process took me over 2 months to get unlocked. So it is a process for sure. It took me a hell of a long time to get that unlocked. And the reason mainly for that was because after speaking to my colleague and finding out the relationship, it was basically saying, hey, there was nothing you could do. You had to wait for those original accounts to be unlocked. And so all the work was being done with the original guy to get it unlocked. And he was struggling. It just wasn't working out. And so eventually we changed tack to just submit ourselves and go through that process. And eventually it worked. And I believe that original guy is still not unlocked on some of his accounts. So hopefully that was helpful, guys. Let's take some questions. If you want to come on and speak, you can also hit me up on that. Let's go through the questions right here. I'm going to take a sip of water real quick. Beck, good. Thumbs up, great. Judy, how do you know if you have hijackers on your account? Well, if you log into Zonguru and you go to Product Pulse and you click there that says alert me when hijackers are on my account, you'll get an alert. So that's the easiest way to know if your account has been hijacked. That is for the marketplace that you're in, you're selling and that you connect to. Now, you do need to, a simple other way to check it is, find your product on Amazon. If it says there's 2 sellers, you can always see the second one, and that might be a hijacker, or it might be Amazon reselling your product, which does happen time to time, and you can just wait for them to sell it, and that'll be gone. The other way to do it is to actually go and search for your product on other Amazon marketplaces, Canada, Mexico, Europe, if you're not selling on all those marketplaces, Australia, and see if someone's bought your product and is reselling it. And if they are, you need to send them a cease and desist letter, and get them taken off. If you trademarked, it's even easier to get rid of them. But just do a few searches, you can find them. I bet you if you go on eBay right now, you're going to find a whole bunch of people selling your product. At the end of the day, if they're selling it and it's it's a good, genuine product, it's okay. It's just getting your brand awareness out there. But obviously on Amazon, if there's mistakes there, it's not great. All right, Stefan. The streaming is interrupted. Your whole summary of the steps was blocked at mine. Sorry, Stefan. So you're going to get this URL. So again, I'm gonna see if I can type it in here. But this URL, if you can get this right here, let me see if I can just paste in the chat. Give me a second. I've just got to figure out where to do that. Let me see. I think enable chat. All right, let me see. If I put this here, you guys should get this. That is the URL. So you can get the templates and you can get the URL for contacting Amazon Health, Account Health there as well. All right. Hannah, sorry. Amazon said they won't receive any email or complaint. Can I still call them? Yes, absolutely. Just click on that link. You'll call them. And that's how you need to start this process. They've suspended you. You'll log into your account. You won't be able to know how to contact them. They've locked everything down. Use that, contact them and say, hey, what's going on? I need to find out what's going on. Beck, are you not using a VPN? You can use a VPN. Basically, if there's two different computers using the same IP address, that is potentially a cause for suspension or for them to flag you. So you can use separate VPNs. That's probably taking it a little too far. But if you use, if you follow all the other processes, same permission, different permissions, logging in, not the same computer, different computers, not the same login details, you should be good. All right, let's see if there's any other questions here. Guys, if you have questions, shoot them over. I'm looking for them right here. Hannah, if they receive more complaints about listings, they may deactivate me at Amazon seller account. So Hannah, that's a different reason. So you're talking about a product listing suspension. That is based on the quality of your product. So if you're getting an email from Amazon saying, hey, we've deactivated your listing because of quality issues, then they'll give you a way to fix it, and you can go in and fix it. But they'll also warn you and say, hey, if this happens again, we might suspend you forever, right? So you have an opportunity to fix it, and whatever it is, if it's bad reviews, they might be saying, hey, there's bad reviews that are saying the product quality is not there. You need to show them and submit evidence that says, hey, I'm fixing this problem. This is how I'm doing it, and then get reactivated. Morning. Okay. Looks like that's all the questions. Any other questions, guys? Hopefully this is super helpful. Hannah, hopefully that answers your question because it's your listing, it's not your account. I think I've got all the questions here. So let me know, guys, if there is anything else. I know we're almost up on time, but if you have anything else, let me know. Julie, hey, John, I've just downloaded the letter and action plan for appeal. Great. Thanks. I've just gone through. Oh, she's just gone through this and this was a nightmare. Yes, I totally agree with you. Total nightmare. All right, Ms. Which department of Amazon do we need to contact to get a permission for the multiple accounts? Sorry if you mentioned it. Yeah, so that's the account health. So that in that download, you will get the URL, and that's account health. So, there's different departments. You need to speak to account health because you've been banned for that reason. So contact them, ask them what's going on, and then submit your letter of suspension. All right, guys, if you have any, I know we have a couple minutes. If you have other questions outside of suspensions that you want me to answer, I'm going to be here for a couple more minutes. Happy to answer anything and everything. Let me tell you a little bit about what's going on at Zon Guru. Well, first things first, there is an accelerator program with reliable education happening, I think, next week. Even if you are a newbie or a student, get on that. It's going to reinvigorate you. You're going to be somewhere where you're going to hear more information, get more data, get more inspiration, and go for it. We've got a few things on there that might be helpful. So it's going to be a great session, I'm sure. Reliable education does an amazing job. We have new tools coming out. If you go to the accelerator, you'll hear a little bit more about that. But we have new markets we're connecting to. I know we've been waiting for a while. New tools, a whole bunch of stuff coming out. I'm super excited. A lot going on with Zon Guru, and just feeling very proud of the team and the quality of the product. I certainly appreciate all of the feedback we get from you guys. I connect with customer support every week. Thank you for the ratings, guys. I think this week we had 100% rating, good quality rating for our customer support. I know they give their everything for you guys. So if you have any questions in customer support, please go there and ask them. Use the voice of the customer. Inside of your tool on the left-hand side, there is a little button that says voice of the customer. If you have ideas, new tool ideas, improvements, put it there. Our team looks at those, validates that, and we will make improvements to the product. We need feedback from our customers to do that. So please log in, do that. You are pretty much one of the only group who have an ability to influence our product. I can tell you other software companies out there don't do it. So, it's a special thing and I want you guys to use it. So please do. All right, Charles, I'll ask a question. Do you think it is dangerous to have a different official registered address? No, I mean, that's an advantage. And when to clear that, if you clarify that, you have to have, if your business has an official address, that's great. Use that. It shouldn't be your home address. That's better for you for sure. Beck, thanks so much. No problem. Hannah, hi John. We can't change the quality of products. So what to do? I don't know. That's a tough one. This is what I would do. I think you have to make some big decisions for your business. If you're getting a lot of bad reviews because the quality of a product doesn't meet the expectation, you need to change the expectation, right? So maybe looking at your listing, seeing what is it that you're not matching on, adjusting that, potentially addressing the issue up front in your listing and your bullets and saying, hey, this is an objection. I want you to be very clear. This is what's going on. You may be able to use email automator to get in front of your customers, if they have problems to discuss, and you can send them replacements. So I don't know. I think at the end of the day, if you don't have a quality product, you need to kill that product. It's going to waste your time, and you need to get rid of it. So whether you kind of take the lesson and start something new, or whether you sell off the product to resellers, but if your quality is not there, you're in a tough position. And I wouldn't kill your Amazon business. I would build another product, but I'd get rid of that product. It's just going to cause headaches. But you've learned so much launching that product, so it's not lost. I can tell you, it's not lost on anyone. So sorry that it's the quality isn't there. Come on, can I have a different account? Yes, you can have a different account, but you need to ask Amazon's approval first. Jennifer, about to launch product. What Zon Guru tools will be my best friend? Currently have starter pack. Ooh, Jennifer, congratulations. You're about to launch your product. This is where, honestly, Zon Guru comes into its own is when you start to launch a product. Keywords on Fire, Listing Optimizer, Keyword Spotlight are going to absolutely help you to crush your launch. And you have to get this right. We just about to launch a business case study, and it's vital. If you're going to launch, Jennifer, you need to put your best foot forward. Don't say, hey, I'm just going to launch and my images are going to come next. And, I'm not really clear on my launch strategy. You have 2 weeks to get it absolutely right, and your conversion rate needs to be through the roof. So use Keywords on Fire. Get your best quality keywords in there. I can guarantee you're going to find keywords your competitors don't. Optimize your listing using Listing Optimizer and pull in your top 8 competitors. It's a key feature of Listing Optimizer. You can compare your listing to the top 8 competitors who are doing the most sales in your business. It will optimize the listing, show you an optimization score, and you can beat their score you have a better chance of getting more sales than them. So, and you can see which keywords they're using and which ones you're not. So this is the power of Zonguru right here. Keywords on Fire, Listing Optimizer. Look at your backend keywords. Make sure they're filled out, and make sure you use the keywords from Keywords on Fire for your PPC campaign. There is a business case study run by Stefan, our CTO, coming out next week, Thursday. You have to watch that. It's a 4-part series. You have to watch that. It's going to tell you exactly how to build your listing, how to think about it, and how to run your PPC so that you maximize your potential for launch. Got to watch that, Jennifer. Look out for that. It's coming. Lee, our account has just been reactivated due to the issue in question. It only took 4 days in our case, and we followed the outline provided today. Please note our advertising campaigns also had to be reinstated following this. Awesome. Good to hear. 4 days. Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much for sharing that. Yeah, and go back and check everything. Check everything's on inside of Zonguru. Make sure everything's working again, and then just go for it. All right, no problem, Don. All good. All right, guys, I think that is it. I think we covered it. Anyway, Black Friday next week, Cyber Monday coming up. Be ready for that, guys. It's gonna be big. Do what I do, push your price up a little bit. They don't know. They're setting that. They don't know that you didn't discount it. So I'm just kidding on that. You got to look at your competition. Don't take my word on that. All right, guys, and lots of good stuff coming out for Zonguru. Going to be a great year. Looking forward to it. And next week's training is going to be awesome. I'm sure a lot of you guys are seeing Kimberly and Eric. They are awesome. Kimberly is an awesome seller. Eric is an awesome seller. They're based in Australia. They have a lot to teach you guys, and they love it and they enjoy it. And every single week is different. They're back next week. It's going to be a good one. They're putting a lot into it. We're promoting it. So get on the training. It should help you guys plenty. So, all right, guys, have a great weekend. And we'll catch you guys soon. Cheers for now. Bye.